What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk about a story that broke yesterday in which a man holding a child was shot by police out there in DeSoto, Texas. Shout out DeSoto. Now, the way this story goes is there was a man and two women. They don't know if they're homeless or what, with a bunch of backpacks around 4 something in the morning, knocking on people's door in a neighborhood that they wasn't familiar with and didn't know these people. 4:30 in the morning, you got strangers knocking at your door. Now, we all want to help people, you know, when they're in need. But the way that people come at you when they need help, especially at the time when you're in your bed and you're safe in your homes, so a lot of times, you know, help is not rendered like, you know, people want to. Take a look at this story, man. This is kind of scary, man. I mean, I don't know how I would have reacted in this situation, but I mean, people didn't open the doors. Well, one person did, and she'll give an eyewitness account of, you know, what she saw. But man, what do you do in a situation like this? Take a look at this and we'll come back and talk about it.
DeSoto police say an officer shot and killed a man who was armed with a handgun and was holding a small child. Good evening, I'm Blake Hansen. Police say they were called to a neighborhood around 4 a.m. after they say the armed suspect with the child and two women started knocking on doors and walking through yards. Police say when they got there, the man threatened officers and refused to put down the child. Witnesses told us the child might have been as young as about 1 year old. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with neighbors in the area about what they saw. Peyton.
Blake, and neighbors tell me they were concerned because these people were carrying large backpacks and also a small child, and they tell me they appeared to be in a frantic state. And it's still unclear from neighbors and also investigators why that man, the two women, and the child, what they were doing, what they were intending to do early this morning in that DeSoto neighborhood.
There were two women and a baby and a man, male, Hispanic in the back. They said that they needed help, they needed a ride or an Uber, and that was it. They were thirsty, and so we did give them some bottled water.
A knock on the back door startled Rayshawn Tanner and her husband early Sunday morning in their quiet DeSoto neighborhood near Northampton Road and East Pleasant Run. Tanner tells Fox 4 the adults were panicking and the child, maybe around 1 year old, only had a diaper on.
Maybe out of sorts, I would say. But, you know, that time of the morning, nothing good is going on at that time of the morning. So
Tanner's husband escorted the group off the property and immediately called 911. DeSoto police responded to Greenbrier Drive after multiple people reported the group was knocking on random doors and trespassing through front and backyards. Tanner didn't have any surveillance video, but her neighbor did. A woman rang the doorbell around 3:30 a.m. Fox 4 blurred her face because at this time the woman isn't facing any charges. This homeowner didn't answer the door, noticing the woman was carrying 2 full backpacks and a water bottle. Police say when they arrived, the man threatened to shoot officers with a handgun while holding the child. The group then took off into a nearby creek.
I have a temporary fence back there, and he had knocked it down.
And cut through Jerry Hall's backyard off Springbrook Drive.
I could hear somebody over in this driveway, and they were cursing and, you know, that kind of thing. So I knew they were having some kind of a confrontation, but I didn't know what it was.
Hall says a few minutes later, he heard one shot. He took these photos of the crime scene surrounding his home. DeSoto police say they tried to talk to the man who was still holding the gun and the child. According to investigators, the man wouldn't drop the weapon or let the child go and remained uncooperative. One officer opened fire. The male suspect died on scene. The child was handed over to family, according to police.
I've lived here for 30 years. I've never had any problems at all. I don't like it in my neighborhood at all.
Blake, again, the child was handed over to family members, but we are unaware if the child was injured. Now, DeSoto police, they tell me that they are still working to identify the man who was fatally shot. The two women were taken into questioning by police, but did not provide authorities the man's name or any type of identification. And it's still unclear if those two women are in police custody. We still do not know the relationship between the man, the two women, and whose child that was. DeSoto police tell me they will release more information once they have that man identified.
Strange occurrence. I mean, that's strange for that to be happening. Now, the lady that you seen talking, the black lady, she said she gave him bottled water and stuff. I don't think all of them was at her house at one time. I'm just being honest. But they said they was walking through people's grass and people's backyards, knocking on the door. They said they knocked on this lady's back door. Her and her husband opened the door and gave him bottled water. But you got strangers knocking on your door in the wee hours of the morning when you sleep. We've seen many horror stories about that. Remember that movie, The Strangers, where people just showed up at people's door and then wound up killing the people? This kind of reminded me of that a little bit, you know, minus them not carrying weapons besides the guy, but they ran all in the back, said they was in the creek. People heard them back there. They arguing loud and stuff, running like slaves all through the damn water and stuff with a baby. Said the baby was less than a year old. Now, I don't know what the situation was and how these people wind up getting in this situation, but think about it. You got 3 adults just knocking on strangers' door asking for help. The lady never said that they said anything like, oh, they was dropped off there or so I don't even know what it was about. I know I wouldn't open the door. I'm being dead honest with you. I wouldn't open the door. You got people walking around the front of your house and people knocking on the door at the back. Nah. Luckily for them, it turned out okay for them. Said the husband escorted them off the property. I don't know if he had a gun himself and they didn't know, but either way, when the police came, the guy threatened to shoot the cop. That's why I say when they came to the house, I think it was just a woman there. I don't think the guy was there because if he was belligerent like that with the police, I don't know how it'd been when the husband told him to get off the property. So I don't think he was there at that time. So it might have been women, but I don't know. But either way, man, I mean, people will ask you for help, you know, when they really need it. But I mean, the reasons people need help sometimes, it put it in question. This is a scary scenario. 4 in the morning, you got a baby with you. Were they displaced? Were they dropped off there? What was their actual motives? Either way, they said nobody was arrested. The guy got killed being an asshole. And the other 2 women, they blotted their face because they said they didn't do anything wrong. They're still trying to piece this together. The only thing that's good about this, man, is nobody got hurt they knocked on the door. Now, they said they don't know if the baby was injured or not. But, I mean, what kind of man does that? You hold the baby and have a gun in your hand and won't let the baby go. Like, why did it even have to come to that? If y'all needed help, the police were right there. They said they asked for an Uber or something, some way to get out of there. That's why I was like, did they get dropped off? Because they just wanted to get out of the neighborhood or get help to get out the neighborhood. Man, this whole thing is perplexing. But I will say this. I'm not opening my door for nobody in the middle of the night. You heard what that lady said, don't nothing good happen this time in the morning. And for some odd reason, a lot of people, namely children, kids, be wanting to be out this time in the morning. Unless you're going to work, I'd keep my behind in the house like I do now. I'm just being honest with you. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is a weekend night that this happened. And it's hard. I don't even want to think about it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.